Hey guys, we are going to go over the Unit 7 review, integers and their opposites. So find the opposite of 27. So the opposite of positive 27 is negative 27. Then the opposite of 21. So the opposite of negative 21 is positive 21. You don't have to put the plus sign, but you can. Absolute value of negative 41 is 41. Absolute value is always positive. And then the opposite of the absolute value of 31. So the absolute value, of 33. The absolute value of 33 is 33. Then the opposite of that is negative 33. You owe $250 to a friend. Write an integer. You owe, so that is going to be negative $250. Matt has a bank account balance of negative 10. This means he owes the bank $10. 56 meters below sea level, represent this situation as integer, is negative 56 because it is below. Let's change all of these to be decimals first. I'm going to insert a slide just so it's a little bit more space. And I'm going to change 2/3 to be a decimal. 2 divided by 3, add your decimal and your 0, goes in 6 times, 2 left over. 2 left over. Notice it's going to repeat. So that is going to be 3.6 repeating, 3.61, 3.66. I'm going to change 3/5 to be a decimal. Your decimal and your 0 goes in 6 times, 30 and a 0. So that is going to be 3.6. I'm going to stack them up. 3.61, 3.66, 3.60, least to greatest, and they're all positives. So least is going to be 3.6, so that's 3 3/5. Then it's going to be 3.61, 3.66, and then 3 2/3. Because really you're just looking at this place value here, and with the 6's, this would go to a 0 and this would go to a 6. I'm going to insert another slide. So this is the opposite of absolute value. So that's going to be negative 0.31, negative 0.3. Let's do 1/3. Your decimal and your 0 goes in 3 times, which is 9 with 1 left over. So it's going to be a repeater. That's going to be negative 0.3 repeating. And then 2/5 is going to go in 4 times, 0.4. Negative 0.4. Let's stack them up. 0.30, 0.33, then repeating, and 0.40. So farthest away from 0 is going to be the biggest number. Farthest away from 0. Oh, but we're going greatest to least. So greatest is going to be closest to 0, so the smallest, which is going to be 30. So it's the opposite of the absolute value of negative 3/10. So check that off. Then 31. The opposite, the absolute value of negative 0.31. Then it's going to be negative 1/3 and negative 2/5 because that is the least. Okay. Let's put these on the number line. So if I have 0, 0.1, 0.2, 3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8. So 2/3, 0.6 repeating. So we've got 6/10 here. Then 0.6 repeating is going to be behind it. And then 0.06 is going to be back here. 6/100. Okay. Miss Chance has a bank balance. Here's all the bank. Greatest to least. So greatest ends up being, here, let's stack them up. That'll be easier. $13.74. So greatest is the smallest, closest to 0, and that is going to be Miss Townsend. Here, I'm just going to do the numbers actually. So it's negative 12.60, negative 12.89, and then the least is negative 13.74 because they're all negatives. Okay, the origin is C, remember 0, 0, the ordered pair. The x-axis is B, A is the y-axis. Remember, you quadrants you do in the shape of a C, so that's going to be D, F, G, E. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, A, remember you go to x-axis and then the y. So you're going to do negative 3, 1. B is 1, negative 5. C is 3, 3. D is 6, 0, because you're not going anything on the y. Remember, you do the parentheses around it. And then E is negative 2, negative 3. Let's graph these. F is 0, 3. Remember, it's going to be on the y-axis. And then 4, negative 2 is going to be G. H is going to be negative 6, 0 on the x-axis. I is going to be negative 2, negative 4. And then J is going to be 4, 5. It's going to be J. So what is the distance between these 2 points? So you can bunny hop it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. And then 1, 2, 3 units for that one. So what is the missing point? So remember, you're going to kind of match them up. So that's going to be your missing point. And that is going to be negative 6, negative 2. And then it is 3 units by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units. So it's 3 times 8, 24 units squared, and then perimeter is 8 plus 8 plus 3 plus 3. So then it's 16 plus 6. Give me 22 units. Okay, distance between 2 points. So these points, if you think about it, it's positive and a negative, so it's going to be down here, and positive and negative is going to be down here. Same quadrant. So 700 minus 300 is going to be 400 units. Okay. This next one, the distance between 2 points, they're in different quadrants because it's a negative and a positive. So you're going to add 203 plus 123, 326 units. Okay, if it's going to reflect A, so I'm going to start, I'm going to put my ordered pair. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. And then that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then it's 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative 4. Okay, so A across the Y, so it's gonna, so the X is gonna become opposite. So it is gonna be, that should have been negative 4. So it's gonna be positive 4, positive 2. Because it's going to end up in quadrant 1. And then B, across the x-axis, is going to go down, so the y is going to be opposite. So then that's going to be 3, negative 6. And then C, across the x and the y, they both become opposite, so negative 2, 4. If a point in quadrant 1 were reflected across the x-axis, so starting in quadrant 1, across the x, it's going to end up in quadrant 4. Remember, use your Roman numerals. If a point is in quadrant 3, that's over here, goes over the y-axis, it will also end up in quadrant 4. So R is -3, -3 across the X. Okay, what quadrant will it end up in, and what will the new reflected point be? So if it's going over the X, the Y becomes opposite. So it is going to be -3, 3. And think about it, -3, +3 is going to end up in quadrant 2. Okay, describe the pattern when you reflect over the X. The Y becomes opposite. And then if you if you're going over from quadrant 4 over the Y, you're going to be in quadrant 3, and the X value will become opposite. Good luck, you're going to do great on your test.